would like to think that I'm speaking for the neighborhood here, and I don't envy you your jobs, in that there is at least a perception of less than forthcoming information and disingenuousness and timeliness on the information that has come to the residents here. The first correspondence that I received was a few weeks ago, and I was glad to receive that packet that came from Columbia Care. I suspect that it was at the impetus of these discussions that was sent out. And I hear you saying, and I really want to be sympathetic with you and provide at least advice. I obviously am not in a position to give any directives, because this is a decision that has been made by Columbia Care. And this is not going to be easy on you anymore, because you have said, I like this, I decided this, so that there's at least a perception that many of these things were done unilaterally with Columbia Care or with a very small group of people. But as Kim pointed out, the vested interests or the impacted parties should indeed include the neighborhood, which is us. And there is at least a perception that we have been the objects of the decisions and not the participants of these decisions. I'm going to assume that this facility is going to go through, and then I'm going to assume that you also want to be a constructive member of this community and this neighborhood. And so a suggestion, my advice to you, is to take extreme measures to overcome what is at least the perception, and make sure that you are over-communicative and very much involve exceptionally the people in this neighborhood, so that this is a participatory process and facility, so that we can feel as good as you would, and so that the residents are not in an environment of animosity. Because at this point, I think that I speak for the neighborhood that this has not been an example of representative government, because I don't think that we feel very represented in this entire process. I didn't want to belabor the point. I really wanted my comments to be constructive, and to get a commitment from you to understand that this perception of having been run roughshod over will persist so long as we're not given an abundance of information and involvement. And if you would, so I'm asking for your commitment, all of you, whether it's Columbia Care or the elected officials. What we have isn't what's desired on anybody's part, I'm sure. So this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to learn information that we don't know that you may be more privy to about mental health, about these facilities. And so it's probably going to cost a little more to print up, to disseminate, to make sure that you over-communicate. But I'm asking for your commitment that from now forward, you over-communicate, so there can't even be any semblance of suspicion that there's anything hidden from us and is not being done above board. Thank you for your time.
And I really want to say how much I agree with your point. I think that what we need to do is, what I've asked since Columbia Care said that they want to ramp up community involvement, and they've given a couple specifics to you tonight, but what I want is that I want it in writing, and I would like a timeline. And we talked about that before, and I think the state and the county both need to be asking for that type of communication in writing of what they expect to do, and so we can have a conversation of whether that's enough or not enough. And so that's what I'm hoping will come out of this, is kind of that letter that lays it out, and it may be an iterative process, because we may not be, we might think there needs to be a little bit more, and we might need to do it in tandem, because they're not the only ones needing to communicate. We all need to communicate more. So I think if you can allow us to go back and kind of craft that and get that out to you, that will help you know exactly how you can participate in the process and the timelines involved. So if that sounds okay to you guys, if there's anything else you'd want to add to that, this would be the time to let me know and to let Carolyn know, of your two elected officials from the county and state, if there's anything more in terms of participation.
Communicate now, and you're just so ready to communicate. But it was forced on us, and now you're so ready to communicate with us. Don't you guys don't even see it, do you? It's like you're being so nice now because you got what you wanted, and we have to just take it. And now you're gonna communicate with us, and we're really gonna trust that you're gonna communicate for the best of for us.
We have to